I'm so glad that you are, and I'm so glad that you are engaging with one another. That being said, I would like you to use the chat during the first year seminar for things that are related to the content that we're talking about. So if you're talking about the topic and you're asking questions or you're commenting or you're sharing your thoughts, great, go for it. And then what we are in the process of doing right now, since it looks like you're really interested in being able to stay connected to each other, is we are in the process of actually transitioning over the SOAR Discord that you used over the summer, so that you can actually use that platform now for the first year experience. So as soon as that is ready to go, I'll make sure to share that with you and kind of announce that. So we are in the process of creating that platform for you to be able to socialize and to talk to one another. That being said, like I said, thank you so much for being here today. This is week 2 of the official first year seminar. And this one is going to be all about welcoming you to Illinois Tech and getting to know all of Illinois Tech's campus resources. So if you didn't hear me earlier, my name is Marky Rhodes. I am your Senior Associate Director of Undergraduate Admission and your primary instructor for the first year experience program. I will always have this slide that has my email address on it, just in case any of you need to get a hold of me with any questions or concerns. So always feel free to do that if you need to, my friends. So today's objectives, this is what we're getting ready to do. Number 1, we're hoping to familiarize you with all of your critical campus resources in the next 2 weeks. But I think the thing that you'll be really excited about is that we're going to share some student perspectives regarding the ways to maximize the use of your resources for a successful college experience. So today, you're not really going to have to listen to me talk a whole lot. It's really going to be your peers kind of sharing their own experiences and their own ways of doing things on campus. So today I'm going to start by introducing the panelists, and then we will move on to the student panel about making the most of your campus resources. And then we will talk about some upcoming events that we're going to be highlighting, some reflection opportunities and next steps. And then I will also share my contact information at the very end of the session. Gavin, who is on my tech support today, if you've not started recording yet, please make sure that you do so. So let's start by introducing our panelists that are with us today. If you could please introduce yourselves with your name, major, and year, just so everybody knows, that would be much appreciated. Let's start with Henry.
I'm Henry. I'm a freshman, and I'm in computer science.
Hi, I'm also Henry. So great to meet another Henry. So don't worry about that. That's totally fine.
It is totally fine.
I'm seeing it in the chat. So my name's also Henry. I am an aerospace engineering major with a public administration co-term degree. And I'm in my 4th year at Illinois Tech.
How about Katya? You next, please.
Hi everyone, I'm Katya. I'm studying mechanical and aerospace engineering. I'm also doing co-term, which is the bachelor's master's thing, and I'm going into my 4th and final year.
Excellent. Emmy.
Hi guys, I'm Emmy. I'm a 4th year and I'm a bio major.
Fantastic. Jasmine.
Hey guys, I'm Jasmine. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm a biomedical engineering major and specializing in soft tissue, also pre-med, and I'm a 4th year.
Awesome. Jack, why don't you introduce yourself?
Awesome. I am Jack. I am a 4th year, so in my last year here at Illinois Tech, and I am a computer engineering major.
Excellent. And then do we have Lucy with us yet?
Yeah. Sorry,
awesome.
It wasn't working earlier. Hi, I'm Lucy. I'm a 2nd year and I'm currently studying architectural engineering, but I might switch to architecture.
Excellent. All right. Well, my friends, panelists, I didn't forget anybody, correct? There were 6 of you. Fantastic. All right, my friends. So going ahead and hopping into the discussion for today, like I said, this is all about getting to know your campus resources. So we're not going to highlight every single resource today. We're going to highlight some of, I think, the more important ones and the ones that get used most by students. That being said, I am in the process of creating kind of a campus resources cheat sheet to share with all of you, where it's really going to have all the major points of contact on campus, the people that you can go to for help when you need it, and that that way, as a brand new student, if you're ever thinking, I need help with X, Y, or Z, you will have a very specific plan of action right in front of you that shows you exactly where you can go to accomplish those things. So we'll highlight some today, but like I said, as of next week, you'll have that cheat sheet as well to help you, and then you can refer to it throughout your first year with us. So we're going to start by talking about the Academic Resource Center, and I've got 3 panelists with me today who have experience as either tutors or seeking support in the Academic Resource Center, Henry, Katia, and Jack. And I just want to start, panelists, you're welcome to just unmute whenever you're ready to speak. What kinds of services does the Academic Resource Center offer? Jump in.
Henry, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so the Academic Resource Center is mostly known for its tutoring services. It is a free tutoring center on campus to cover most classes that we have. It's staffed by students, so if a student has gotten a A in a class one semester, the next semester they might be employed with the ARC, the Academic Resource Center, to tutor for that class. So it's mostly known for the walk-in appointments. I've been tutoring at the ARC for a couple years now, and I think I've only had a handful of pre-scheduled appointments. Most of them are walk-ins. And with this semester, the tutoring center is online. So it'll be staffed most days from, I think, 10 to 8. Koch and Jack can correct me if I have that wrong.
Yeah, the new COVID hours, we're not sure, but that's what it was originally.
Yes. So between those hours, you can go in, log into the online space for it, which is through Blackboard, and see if they have a tutor in whatever subject you want, whether that be math, science, something directly related to your major. Even some of the electives have tutors for that. And the schedule for those drop-in appointments is available online if you just search IIT ARC or web.iit.edu/ARC.
And in addition to the official resources, there are also unofficial resources. So any of the tutors, they'll be there specifically for a certain major, but that doesn't mean that you can't ask like general school advice. I've had so many appointments where I would meet with a student, we would work on math for maybe 30 minutes, but then our conversation would gradually transition into what classes are you taking? And then I would help them plan their 4-year academic plan, talk about ways that they could study better for certain classes, anything like that too.
Excellent. And friends, just so you know, like I said, I am in the process of creating that cheat sheet for you that's going to have all the campus resources, and I will actually have live links in that where you can visit these various websites. And so everything really will be at your fingertips as of next week when that document gets shared with you. The next thing that I want to talk about, and Jack specifically, I'm interested to hear your opinion on this, is I know that it's common sometimes for students to actually kind of avoid seeking academic support from the ARC. My question to you is, why do you think that's the case? And what would your advice be to students who are hesitant to reach out for help? So like I said, Jack for sure, and then if anybody else wants to jump in.
Yeah, of course. So I wasn't ever, or I haven't been a tutor at the ARC, but I have seeked it out, especially this last year. That was actually the first time I actually was like, hey, like I need help and I don't know how to do it myself. I'm a pretty independent guy, and so I like to figure it out myself, like Google it, hey, I can do everything myself, and don't really need help elsewhere. And so during my freshman and sophomore year, I failed to go to the ARC. I didn't think it was necessary for me. And especially during that first semester, like you guys are doing right now, I struggled a lot because I didn't know everything. Like there's a lot of stuff in college that you're not going to know. And those people at the ARC, like our 4th year and 3rd year students mostly, and they really know and really want to help you. Like Katya said, they can do more than just help you with the classes. They can literally help you with life. So it's just crazy to think that you don't want to seek that out. And you could even like go frequently enough to like just make friends with the people there. It's really easy. Online, it'll still be possible. You can just seek that out. I think that people don't seek it out because they're independent, stubborn, scared, lots of adjectives you can put in there, especially when you're coming to college and you're like, I'm going to be an independent person. Like I'm doing my own thing. But you need to realize that you will struggle. And those people care so much that they like are taking a job to do this thing. So they care about you. So to seek after them, make friends with them, have fun.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jack. I think you really hit the nail on the head whenever you said that, people feel like, well, because I'm in college, I need to be independent. I shouldn't be asking for help. And it's no secret that all of you who've been admitted to Illinois Tech are top scholars. You were strong students in high school. You're highly qualified to be here. But that being said, it's no secret that Illinois Tech is a rigorous school. And just because you are seeking academic support from the ARC, that does not mean that you are necessarily engaging in what would be viewed as like remedial learning of any kind. In fact, it's actually really common for really strong students to seek support at the ARC just because it's a good habit to be in.
Yeah.
Katya and Henry, do you want to add on to that at all?
Yeah, I just wanted to add that I was a tutor, but I was also a student at the same time I was a tutor. So it's possible to be, academically, you're able to be academic, but also want academic help in different areas. So you can be both.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like even
Go ahead.
when I was working at the ARC last semester, similar to like what Kachi's saying, I would be tutoring someone at the math table, and then my shift would end, and I would walk over to the MMAE table because I was struggling on my homework for compressible flow or whatever that may be. So I think I really like what Jack said, and I really think kind of the context in which we think about tutoring, it's something that definitely shifts throughout your time in college. Like I entered college thinking tutoring was kind of that remedial thing, but really after going through using some of these resources, it is pretty clear that the tutoring is more of just a conversation. It's just a way to, have another chance to take what you're learning and bounce it off another person. It doesn't have to be like, I have to go to the ARC because I totally don't understand this. Like you can totally do that, but you can also just go to the ARC to say, hey, I want to make sure I got this. Can I just go and work a problem and bounce some ideas off someone? And it's a great resource for that as well.
Excellent. And so the last thing that I want to close with, and very briefly, is just asking you as panelists, when do you think is the best time for students to start seeking support from the ARC? What would your advice be there?
I would say right away, just to get a sense of what it's like. There's no harm in going your first week of school, asking them, what do you do? How do you like to tutor? What kind of things do you help people with? And then keep that in mind so that if you run into a situation that they describe, you know exactly where to go.
Yeah,
excellent.
I'd second that. I'd just add on there, like, everyone's going to have kind of a different level of usage of these resources. Same goes for the ARC. I would say don't ever let it wait to be a like last minute panic situation that you're using it for the first time, because there's going to be some learning going into how to best use the resources, scheduling appointments, and things like that.
So it sounds like the name of the game is being proactive rather than reactive whenever it comes to academic support, getting in front of it rather than waiting until you start to struggle. Excellent. So my friends, like I said, the Academic Resource Center is just an incredible diamond in the rough here at Illinois Tech. The students who work there are wonderful. Many of them are also student ambassadors and admissions, and I can personally vouch for them. So definitely go and check out the ARC before you start to struggle in your courses. And I think you'll find that they will really do a lot to kind of help you survive your semester. So hopping into the next topic, residence life. And I know that Emmy and Jack will definitely be able to weigh in on this. Emmy, I know, was actually an RA herself. And then Jack, I believe, actually served with the Residence Hall Association as a student organization. So Emmy and Jack, I think the first question that I would like to ask, and perhaps Emmy would be more appropriate here, what kind of support and resources can RAs actually offer their students?
So I've been an RA, this is my second year now. So your RA can actually do a lot. Obviously, like it's in your residence hall. They're kind of the ones who, if you have any problems with your room, like maybe your AC doesn't work or the laundry doesn't work, just different like maintenance things like that. The RA can do, they can handle that. And also roommate conflicts is a big thing. You guys probably have already filled out your roommate condition forms by now. So they kind of keep track of all of that, and they need to know who is on their floor. So like if my boss comes to me and says, oh, I think there's someone in 203, like I have to know that. I have to be aware of like everyone there. So if you have any problems with people on your floor or like just like specifically your room, your RA can help with that. But also you might have noticed that your RA is putting on events for you guys. So like the whole point of that is one of our biggest mission is to have a community. So your floor, your first year, I mean, for me personally, I tell my mentees this too. My friends that I made on my floor my first year are still my friends right now. So I would definitely recommend going to those events that your RA puts on, because obviously, like it's not like they don't get anything out of you not coming to them. It's really just for you. So get active, like be involved in some of those events, and like your floor is your friends. Like honestly, anything that they do is just kind of to build engagement with each other. So also, if you're having like academic, social problems, like Katya was saying, that when you go to the ARC, they have unofficial resources too. So kind of like we have unofficial resources as well. Like we're mandated reporters. If you have problems with your professor or classmates, and if you don't know who to talk to, go talk to your RA. We were trained in a lot of things like that, so we kind of know how to handle it.
I mean, that's really good to hear. So what it sounds like to me is really, if you don't know where to go, your RA is really a good kind of first point of contact if you have questions, correct?
Yeah, and they're on your floor too, so it's super convenient.
Excellent. That's great to hear. So I feel like you kind of already addressed, when should students seek the support of an RA? And the answer to that is basically if anything is going on, right? If anything at all that they need, they should talk to their RA. Anything else to add there, Emmy, in terms of when to seek support?
I mean, your RAs are likely upperclassmen, so I agree with Marky. Like, whenever you are confused about anything IIT, your RA probably knows the ropes. So if you have anything about like meal plans or financial aid, like your RA can definitely point you in the right direction. They might not know the answer, but they definitely know where you can go for help.
Awesome. And so I want to kind of pivot over to Jack now and start focusing a little bit more on the Residence Hall Association. So Jack, my question to you is, number one, what does the Residence Hall Association do? And then how can students work with them to impact things like living conditions and meal plans?
Yeah, so the Residence Hall Association is kind of the voice for students on campus, especially when you're a freshman, or the people that are living on campus. So what you do is you kind of get involved. We usually have like floor reps that get involved and can get feedback from all the students surrounding all the dorms. So it's hard to hear from everybody. So you kind of have reps that kind of talk to their friend groups or their floors and really get feedback on things that they see that are wrong, or maintenance things or stuff like that. And it's really just the voice of students that are living on campus. That's kind of the main thing. It's for housing and dining. So you can do kind of getting feedback on both of those different avenues. And I think continuing on and kind of how it can impact students right away and how you can get involved. I was actually the treasurer of RHA my freshman year, which was kind of a big leap for me, but you can get involved right away, kind of be a floor rep and impact things right away. We had some of the stuff that happened in MSV, one of the residence halls, with furniture, and before COVID happened, we actually implemented some grab and go meals as well. Before we really needed it, we started implementing that through RHA. We really had an end to Chartwells, who is our service provider, and some other things like that, to really get just conversation flowing, get ideas bouncing off each other, really from a student perspective, because it's hard to hear that, especially when you're not a student.
Excellent. So really, it sounds like if you have any questions related to living conditions, the residence halls, meal plans, really RHA is a great place to go to kind of voice those concerns and actually try to advocate for positive change. Correct, Jack?
Correct.
Awesome. Well, panelists, just so you are aware, we are down to about 9 minutes, so we're going to have to be pretty to the point with the rest of these conversations. I want to pivot now to undergraduate research, chatting with Jasmine here. So Jasmine, chat with me a little bit about the questions that you see on the screen. First of all, where are you aware of that first-year students can go to find undergraduate research opportunities?
Okay, can you hear me, Marky?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I'm gonna just kind of take this and do it quickly so that we can move on. First, research at IIT is super easy to get involved in. because we are such a small school and research focused. I literally emailed like 3 professors. All you have to do, if you want to get involved in research, look at the research you're interested in, look at the professors, what they do, and find something you're actually interested in. And then you email, I emailed 3 professors, but you can email 1, and they all responded to me pretty quickly and said, yes, you can join, or we can have a meeting, or yada, 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 which is super unique because I have friends at other universities, and they emailed 40 different professors and didn't get responses from like over half of them, which is insane. I do biomedical engineering research in a cell and tissue lab, but there's literally all specs, and you can like get paid to do research through the R&D. You can travel to conferences. You can win awards. So I mean, there is a monetary like reward in some aspects, so it's super fun. Day to day can be kind of boring, but the reward. I thought I wouldn't like research. I thought I was only going to do it for a semester or a year, but I wanted to kind of do a career in research. So there's that. It's really good for like post-grad, grad school, med school, just like anything after college, and you can put on your resume.
Can I add one thing?
Go ahead, Katya, absolutely.
There's a new student org called CARS, CAURS, and it is designed specifically to help undergraduate students get research opportunities. So definitely reach out to your RAs and ask them to connect you to that student org, or reach out to your FYE mentor.
Awesome. Absolutely. And, you know, and as Jasmine pointed out, as Katya just pointed out, obviously the benefits are pretty endless here. It's a resume builder. It's great if you're wanting to pursue grad school. Just the research process in general is a professional development process that is going to make you incredibly marketable when you go to seek out jobs in the STEM world. And just so all of you, oh, go ahead, Jasmine. Absolutely.
You can also get published, which is super cool. Like you wouldn't find that at other opportunities at other schools as an undergrad. You can be like a 2nd or 3rd author, even a 1st author if you take the lead. So if you're interested in it, definitely start early, or even just try it for a semester. If you hate it, it's just a semester, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, just take that leap and jump in. And my friends, once again, on that cheat sheet that I will be introducing to all of you next week in the seminar, I'm actually listing all of the different places you can go to seek out undergraduate research opportunities. So if this seems a little overwhelming and you still aren't quite sure where to go, just wait for that cheat sheet next week and it will point you in the right direction. Moving on to Elevate, Jack, if you wouldn't mind jumping in here, I will start off just by kind of describing what the Elevate office is. So essentially, Elevate is actually an office that on campus that is responsible for connecting students to experiential learning opportunities. So what they do is they'll connect students with things like internships, short courses, undergraduate research, study abroad, all kinds of different things. So if you're that person who's looking to do those kinds of things that are really above and beyond the traditional classroom experience, which in my opinion are the things that really make college memorable, then the Elevate office is really where you want to go to seek out those kinds of opportunities. So Jack, can you speak just a little bit to your experience working with Elevate and study abroad?
Yeah, of course. So I studied abroad my 3rd semester. So I'm my 3rd semester in Melbourne, Australia for 4.5 months, which was just crazy. So you can do it that early if you want. Right now, unfortunately, it's hard to figure it out, but you can still seek it out because it'll come back. But the Elevate program is really new. So when I was it was just kind of like study abroad by itself. And I was like, oh, I don't know how to do this. But with the Elevate, it's really neat that they kind of pair it all together. So if you're like, I don't want to go for 4.5 months, maybe I want to go for like a week or a month. Oh, I can do an internship or I can do something like that. There's so many different things they offer that you're going to find something that's right for you. And I really think it's important. Like Marky said, it's like above and beyond, but it's really like you are kind of finding yourself and you really do something that you're maybe never going to have the chance to do, because to do something like that, you really need the money and the time, and you can get scholarships and you have time in college to do it. So definitely try to go to study abroad fairs, just get information. With all of this, it's just really like seeking it out and like dipping your feet in the water. Is this something I like? Oh, I like that. Let me like search a little farther. Oh, I really want to do that. And then you kind of find something that you're really passionate about. Hey, I actually want to visit another country. I've traveled a lot. I want to do that. And then you really find the resources and the people that'll help you. For me, it was study abroad, and we have a fantastic coordinator, Hannah. She's amazing. Definitely talk to her about any opportunity that you're looking for, and it can definitely happen. Even if you think money is an issue or time is an issue, she'll help you figure it out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jack. And once again, my friends, Elevate will be on that cheat sheet that I'm providing next week if you're curious as to how to get connected. Student Government Association, Katya and Henry, can you just jump in very quickly and chat a little bit? You know, what is SGA? What kinds of supports do they provide? And when would it be appropriate for students to network with SGA?
You want to start, Henry?
Yeah, so SGA is student government, and like kind of the traditional idea of student government, it's a representative body made up of students from campus to handle issues on campus as well as oversee certain things. So in terms of resources, there are things that SGA does directly. They manage something called the Student Activity Fund, which if you notice a student activity fee on your fall bill, then that's going into that fund. So it's a fund managed by students for student organizations. So student organizations can request equipment or things from events and pay for it out of this fund, and that's overseen by students. There's also things SGA does directly, like hosting events, connecting students with administration, with like president provost forums and town halls where students can actually talk directly with administrators, and moderating the Facebook group ITSC, the Illinois Tech Student Community. So those are the things that SGA does directly, but really where SGA has some of the largest impact is where it partners with campus administration. Because it is a representative student organization, if administrators want to turn anywhere to get campus or student input on projects, that's where they'll go. So for example, the new Kasich Hall, when it came to making some decisions about furniture, layout, and the new renovation on Cunningham Hall, administration turned to SGA. Similarly, SGA also has that built-in lane where they can take problems directly to administrators. So if there's something going on with classes where there's something that's just really weird, or student services that aren't being met, SGA can actually take that to administrators and work in conjunction to address that. For example, last year when the Student Health and Wellness Center had huge wait times for counseling appointments, SGA worked with administrators to help reduce those wait times, and they kept applying that pressure to administrators to make sure that those things were met so they can address things from the student's perspective and address those concerns.
Henry, that was a fantastic explanation. Katya, anything to add real quickly?
I want to add in that we're looking for senators right now, and so it's actually never too early to get involved. As a freshman, you can apply to be a representative, or if senator is a little too intimidating, you can join to be a volunteer. My recommendation is also similar to the ARC. Come, check us out, just see what projects we're working on, and then decide whether if you want to join or not, because there might be something here that you're really passionate about, and we might have the resources to help you make change on campus.
Awesome. So it sounds like SGA is really the place that it's kind of appropriate to raise your voice in the event that you are trying to advocate for some kind of.
Encourage it.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
It's definitely not the only resource on campus, but it is a well-established, well-recognized resource for doing that.
Awesome. That's great to hear. And SGA will come back around a few times in our conversations during first year seminar because it really is such an important organization. Lucy, I'm going to feature you here in these last couple of minutes, my friend. Can you chat a little bit about working with the Office of Campus Life if you are hoping to do things like plan community events?
Yeah, for sure. So last year, I'm part of the exec board for Club Citizens Climate Lobby. And last year we did an energy audit, and it was at a Chicago public school. And so because of the way that some of the things that we needed from the school that we were doing the energy audit at, we weren't able to just go through and do everything, all of the administrative steps ourselves. So me and some of the other exec members, we sought out Patrick Fina, who he's the person behind most of the stuff for Campus Life, and he helped us make sure that our event was able to get approved, and he helped us with all of the legal and administrative stuff. So sometimes for events, especially if they're community events, there's things that as students we're not able to completely approve. So Campus Life can really help with that and make sure that you're able to do all of the events that you want to do.
Awesome. So if you didn't catch that name, Patrick Fina is the person that you want to talk to if you're ever interested in planning a community event. And then of course the Office of Campus Life is really there to work with the Student Government Association to host all of the events on campus. And if you've ever heard about some of our special guests that we brought to campus in the past, like we had Tan France come to campus one time, that is also the Office of Campus Life that does that. So if you're ever interested in getting involved in any of those things, Patrick is the person that you want to chat with. I know that we are basically out of time at this point, and I know that we will be featuring career services later on during the first year seminar. So very quickly, Lucy and Katia, can you just kind of jump in and very quickly chat about the benefits of working with career services and what they can do with you?
Yeah, so for me, during my ITP class, one of the people who works at Career Services, she came and she talked to us about resume building and cover letters. And I reached out to her because, like I had mentioned earlier, I'm not exactly sure what I want my major to be. So starting as early as my first semester of college, I've been working really closely with Tiara, one of the people at Career Services, to help me get shadowing opportunities to learn more about the different fields that I've been interested in, and to really help me understand all of the possibilities in terms of careers and just like the flexibility that I have.
Yeah, they also helped you connect with alumni. So when I was a junior or sophomore and I didn't know whether I wanted to do engineering or not, I sent them an email with the 5 top companies that I'm interested in. And they connected me with an alumni from each of those top 5 companies. Then I could then reach out to on LinkedIn saying, hey, Career Services recommended I reach out to you. Can we talk? Tell me about your experience. How did you apply? How did you make yourself a really competitive applicant? So that's a big benefit. The other thing is, like Lucy said, we are coming to your ITP classes. So if you're in an intro class, MMA 100, ECE 100, they're going to come this semester and tell you all about it. They're also partnering with Intinium, and Intinium is going to put a little bit of a spin. So we're also going to bring in alumni that didn't only get a degree, but did something very different with it. Some electrical engineers might end up co-founding a medical startup. Some architecture students may start their own architecture firm. You never know what you can do with your degree. And so we're also going to be coming and telling you about that too.
Fantastic. So my friends, if you've never taken advantage of Career Services, check it out. You can literally get individualized career coaching, and why would you not? It is never too early to start working with Career Services. In fact, they do recommend that you start doing so in your first year and not waiting until you're basically looking for a job, because they can also be making those professional connections for you throughout college rather than in your 4th or 5th year. And then Lucy, would you chat a little bit about the Center for Disability Resources, the types of services that they can provide?
Yeah, so the Center for Disability Resources, the main thing that they do is they help you get accommodations. So accommodations, they're mostly used in classroom settings, but they can also be used for housing. And basically, if you have any kind of disability, they can help you make your academic life and just your life in college a lot more accessible for you and easier to navigate. And so for me, I have a hearing disability, and I know that when I was going into college and even in high school, I didn't really think that it was something that I could get help for, and I was like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, like it's fine. But through my work with CDR, it's made my academic life a lot more easier for me. And even now with COVID, the kinds of accommodations that I need because of online classrooms are changing. And so I've been in contact with people that work here to get closed captions or subtitles for my recorded lectures to make sure that I can understand the lectures. They offer note-taking services, speech to text, extended time for testing, quiet settings for testing, and then also even they can offer things for dorm rooms like doorbells if you aren't able to hear people knocking on your door, things like that. So it's definitely a really helpful resource, and if you think that you might need it, I definitely recommend reaching out.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Lucy. And just so all of you are aware, if you had accommodations in high school and maybe you're in college and are thinking, oh, maybe I don't need them anymore, CDR does still recommend that you get that on record with them. in the event that you were to ever change your mind, because then at least the process is already finished and then it's just a matter of getting you set up at that point. So I would definitely recommend reaching out, even if you don't think you're necessarily going to take advantage of any services at this time.
Also, similarly, if there's something that you think you might need or that might help you, but you don't know, always reach out, because like for me, there was like this program that I thought might help me and I didn't know if I would use it or not, and I tried it and I didn't like it, and then that's fine, and you can just not have it and continue.
Awesome. Yeah, that's incredibly valuable, Lucy. Thank you so much for sharing. So panelists, thank you so much for sharing your perspective. I think it's so much more useful to hear from you than it is from me. So thank you for taking the time to be here. Friends, I'm very quickly going to go through these last announcements and then get you out of here. So upcoming events, reflection opportunities, and next steps. Basically, make sure that you attend your weekly small discussion group this week with your mentor. You should be getting a calendar invite from them if you have not already. Don't forget, next week we have another first year seminar on Tuesday, on Tuesday, and the theme is going to be Your Voice Counts. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. And then in terms of next steps, if you haven't just subscribed to Illinois Tech's YouTube channel yet, make sure that you do that to watch all of these videos on demand. And then don't forget, if you would like to submit a reflection journal prompt, then here it is. So your week 2 prompt is list your purposes for going to college, list some differences between high school and college, identify a future career goal for yourself and how college can help you achieve it, list some freedoms in college, and list your concerns and fears about college. So there is your week 2 reflection journal prompt. And then for next week, the seminar is going to be focused on the 8th from 12:50 to 1:20 about learning about the rest of Illinois Tech's resources, but then also ways to make your voice count as a student. So I'm sure there will be times in your college career that you'll think, hey, I would really like to advocate for some kind of positive change on campus. And so next week we'll be talking about the proper channels to follow to advocate for large change across the campus, but then also whenever you need to raise your hand and say, hey, I'm having a personal issue, what you can really do about that and where you can turn to get help. And once again, if you have questions, if you have concerns, this is my email address, mrhodes1@iit.edu. Please never hesitate to reach out to me or to reach out to your mentor for help. We are here for you, we appreciate you, and we are here to help you have a successful first year. And that's it, my friends. So thank you so much. Best wishes as you enter, I guess, your second week of classes at this point. And if you need anything at all, reach out to us. Thanks so much, friends. That's all we have for today, and we'll see you next week.